friends. How are we doing? Are we ready to join the land of Faerun? Oh, Sam's out. There he is. Hi, Sammy. Yeah, I didn't really mean Faerun. I said Faerun. But that's because I have it on the mind, okay? It's because I haven't played it in 2 days. I haven't played Baldur's Gate in too long. It's fine. Everything's fine. Wait. What am I doing? Here we go. No. No. No, 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 no. No. I don't think you understand. I've been so excited to play Dragon Age. I've been so excited. I've wanted to, but I haven't. I promised that I was only going to play on stream. And, like, now that I'm getting more and more side quests, I might, like, do side quests off stream. But, like, every time I wanted to play DAO and I haven't been streaming, I've been like, so I've been playing Baldur's Gate every time I've felt that way. To try to just, like, satiate me. And so that's why I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate lately. Because it's really that I want to play Dragon Age Origins. So, turns out I think I like it. Okay. Let us go back into... Oh, I'm glad you got a place in BG3 last night. Did you have fun? It's been a minute since you played. Okay.
What do you need?
Oh, what were you pissed about? What part are you at? I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Why did you keep your birthright a secret? Oh,
You never asked?
Oh, dude. When I played in Tactician, I avoided the Harpies my first honor mode run because I tried to do them in Tactician and they kicked my ass. I don't do them. I think until I'm at least a level 4 or 5 on my honor mode runs. Yeah. 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 I'm eating leftover cake. Ian and I got dessert last night at one of our favorite bakeries. And there was some leftover cake. And now I'm having that. I'm very excited.
All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do do you just tell someone that?
How about, by the way, I'm the heir to the throne?
Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing.
Why? What happens when people find
They
out?
treat me differently. I become the bastard prince to them, instead of just Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
It doesn't sound stupid at all.
For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's all right. Oh, I hope he's all right. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I guess I was just hoping that you would like me for who I am. It was a dumb thing to do.
Oh. Don't worry about it, Alistair. No harm done.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go.
Oh, I can talk to the dog.
Oh, why, you little...
What?
Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Well, he is a war dog.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me. I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh. Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
What is this?
Hey!
Is it just a bunch of, like, watching a bunch of interactions between Ellie and Alistair?
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
Morgan.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Maybe it is.
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
Oh, I don't like it.
I just did. I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
That is so rude.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Okay. Is there anything else to say to Liliana?
Yes. Well, here I am. Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Yes, I have heard of Flemeth.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Aw, thanks, Nally. Thanks for hanging and lurking. What happened then?
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away.
Whoa.
And at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Dude. That's wild. Okay. That's an interesting lore drop. Uh-oh. There was another story I wanted to hear. What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also
Fragile
revered
men.
as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burnt at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
It's a little Jesus-y for me. Tell me about Andraste and the Maker again.
Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium.
Just tells the
The
same
Maker
story.
granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victory
She just really likes to
converted
talk
many to
about
the worship of the
Andraste,
Maker.
so she'll tell the story over and over again. Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first.
That's true.
But I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a holy exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
Let's just move on. Okay, so I think that I have some Andraste stuff. Look, I have Andraste stuff. Should I give that to her? Okay. Liliana. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, how do I give it now? Is it too early to give it? It won't let me gift it. Oh. I can do it later.
Why are we stopping?
Oh. I think we should talk for a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Oh. I see. I need to know if I can trust you at my back.
I am Kunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises.
I've never seen a Kunari before. Tell me about your people. No. That is freaking funny. No. That's funny. I wasn't expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
You said you were in the army.
I am.
Have you ever fought in war?
I have always fought in war, dwarf.
So you must know your way around a
Some.
battlefield
They
then.
aren't all alike.
Are you always as bad at answering
Generally,
questions?
I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
Are you alright? You were in that cage for
You are
weeks.
concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
We should get moving.
As you wish.
That is fucking hilarious.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
What can a Templar do
Essentially, they're
exactly?
trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So Templars use magic themselves?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted.
Oh.
And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two.
Oh. What is this? What is it? Oh. That's funny. So you were addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vow.
Okay.
You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
It's kind of insane. Sten approves of my conversation? Right. Okay.
What do you need? Ask away.
Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
He's so cute. I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly.
That's just in public. In
Your
private,
Honor,
we
I
have
love
these
him.
Yellow and purple tunics, right?
I know.
Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
He's so cute. And what's the real
You
reason?
don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I do really want to know, yes.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the
He
monastery.
is silly.
The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you?
True.
Do you have anywhere you consider home?
I guess my home is with the Grey Wardens now, with you.
It is. I didn't know you felt that way. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good.
Aww.
Either way.
They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
We're supposed to be falling in love. Okay, sir?
What do you need? Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a
I
Templar?
suppose I could, but I really would rather not.
But why not?
When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
Very well, I'll respect your word.
Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all. What do you need? Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the free marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Is there headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderveld, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
I mean, we probably will go to Denerim, right? I mean, some of our stuff for the guild that we're gonna do is in Denerim. So what happens now that there's just two of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them.
Just
Maybe they
the
won't send
two
anyone.
of us
We could try to contact them.
can make it
But
if
that would
we
mean
try.
leaving Ferelden.
Just
And
the
even if we
two
did,
of
they
us.
couldn't come back with us in time to stop the blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
It's up to us. It's up to us. Will we need to start rebuilding the order?
I mean,
Hello,
eventually
Jolly.
we'll have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult
Can you
to
hear
compare.
Joey
That's
barking in
it.
the background?
Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden?
Yeah.
I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
I have no more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, but gift time. Okay. Yeah, what gift should I do? Okay, let's go look at, I don't know. Okay. I can do this. Liliana, dog, Alistair. Okay. Alistair's mother's amulet. Don't have that. That's at Redcliffe Castle, though. I have a small carved statuette. That's on the list. Should I give that to him? I'm going to give that to him. Okay, Alistair. Okay, I'm scared.
I could get used to this.
Hi. Sir, are we friends? Minor constitution? What does that mean? Cute.